everyone, it's Taylor here. Today we're going to be creating these beautiful Christmas cards using a 2-for-1 technique where you can get 2 cards from one panel. I'm going to be using the Peace on Earth cutting plate, the sentiments from the All is Calm set, and for the inside of my cards I'll be using the Inside Scoop Christmas Blessings. I have a couple of additional dies, Build-A-Scene Snowdrifts, and Little Bits North Star. I'll also be using our Post-it removable labeling tape and a couple other adhesives. I have our 1x3 foam squares and our small foam squares as well. I'll be doing lots of blending, so I have my ink stand that the ink pads fit perfectly into, and then I have a variety of blender brushes in pinks, reds, and purples. I'll be doing 2 different color combinations in the video, one in pinks and reds and one in purple. The pinks are Rosewater, Cupcake, Pink Champagne, Raspberry Sorbet, Mulled Wine, and Mocha. And for the purple combo from light to dark, I have Macaron, Dried Fig, Passion Fruit, Eggplant, and Blue Corn. I'll be using Fresh Snow Happy Medium along with my Nuvo Media Spatula and Pearl Glitter. And then I'll be doing some splattering with Starry Gansai Tambi watercolors, and I'll be using my VersaFine Clair Nocturne ink pad. So I'm going to start with the Peace on Earth cutting plate and die cut that from Sugar Cube cardstock. I've placed it over the top of the cardstock and just send that through my die cut machine. A metal shim may be helpful the more that you use this die. After poking out all the pieces, you can see that I am going to be placing a second piece of cardstock, Sugar Cube cardstock, underneath. I have masked off the areas where those snowflakes go through the cutting plate because I don't want them to show up on my background piece. So I started at the bottom with the Macaron ink, and I have the Passion Fruit after the Dried Fig. So far it's going Macaron, Dried Fig, Passion Fruit, and at the top we have Eggplant. I'm blending those to create an ombre look from light to dark, and then I'm adding in some darker blue corn at the top of that cutting plate. So now you can see I end up with 2 pieces, and I'm going to do that again in the same order but with those red and pink colors. So I started with Rosewater, and then I'm moving to Cupcake. Next will be Pink Champagne, and then we'll get a little bit darker with the Raspberry Sorbet. Just moving from light to dark, blending back and forth in a clockwise and counterclockwise motion. So then I have the Mulled Wine as the next color. I'm going to blend all the way across that cutting plate on the top, and then to get a little bit of extra dimension, I'm adding in some Mocha just along the top of the cutting plate. And then we'll set both of those pieces aside and die cut our hills from the Build-A-Scene Snowdrifts. I've cut my cardstock already to 4 1/4, and then I cut 4 snowdrifts. So now I have 4 pieces of cardstock, and I am going to use my paintbrush to splatter. These will end up looking like little stars in the sky. So I'm splattering over the background piece that you see on the left, and then a plain piece over on the right side. So you can see I have 4 A2 pieces that I've put gold splatters onto, and we're going to set those aside to dry. We're going to move on to creating the snowdrifts for the bottom of each card. I've taken the die cut snowdrifts and measured out exactly where I want that snowdrift to fall on the cutting plate, and then I've cut these 4 slopes, and we're going to stamp each one with a different sentiment from the All is Calm stamp set. I'm using my VersaFine Clair ink. The first one is "O Come Let Us Adore Him." Then we have Peace on Earth. Next we have a Bible verse from Matthew 2:10. And the last one says "Joy to the World." So I'm going to take each of those pieces now, and I'm using a technique with my Nuvo Media Spatula to just paint on some of that fresh snow. It's an opaque white paste, so it dries white on the white cardstock, and I've placed pearl glitter over the top for a little bit of added shimmer to the card project. I've taken 2 additional cutting plates, just cut from sugar cube cardstock, and I'm going to place foam tape on all of the backs of these pieces. Now this process did take just a little while, but you can see after I got the foam tape on there, you can just place that plain cutting plate over the top of the background, adhere your sentiment down at the bottom, and that particular project is finished. Then you take the opposite piece with the colored cutting plate and you place the sentiment in the same spot at the bottom. I die cut the Little Bits North Star from gold foil cardstock 4 times, and I'm going to adhere those in the sky right above that church scene. I've done that on each of the cards, and I did use the largest of the 3 dies in that Little Bits North Star set. So now we're going to score and fold our card bases. These are top folding card bases, so I scored at 5.5 and then folded. I'm going to stamp the inside of each of these with a sentiment from the Inside Scoop Christmas Blessings. May the warmth of God's love bless you this holiday season. The last step is simply to adhere the panels to the card base. These are exactly the same size as the card base, so I'm basically just adhering them to the front of the card. I love how these turned out, and I can't wait to explore them in more colors. Hopefully you learned something new today and you can have fun creating something just like this. You can find all of these products at the Tailored Expressions web store at tailoredexpressions.com.